Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Black Bear News Evening Edition. It is Tuesday, March 17th, St. Patty's Day, and also a primary day in the U.S. in the middle of a global pandemic, a global economic meltdown, an almost nationwide quarantining of the entire population, a nationwide shutdown of almost every business, and all public spaces, and all large gatherings, and almost every other possible thing, and yet, but please go out and vote, by all means. How's it going, guys? Damian Gonzalez, hello. Keith Boyd, hello. The dude. Yes, welcome back to Black Bear News. Please remember to like the video. Make sure that you are still subscribed. You can support by PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, and Super Chat. Hi, guys. Michael Arond. Diana, hello. Cindy Seeley, hello. Michael Arond says, hey, kid, or kids, gas at $1.99 a gallon. Forget UBI now. Damian Gonzalez says he's going stir crazy. I'm sorry to hear that. Can you go out and take a walk? Go for a hike. That's what I did today. I took my dog and my kid on a hike with a friend of mine, and we went and did a photo shoot for my upcoming record release. So, that's not necessarily endangering or endangerment. Azrika, hello. Can't deal, hello. Yeah, just weird as hell. This whole primarying in the middle of this emergency is weird as hell. As I read this morning, some states have pushed it back. Ohio said no thank you. Ohio said no thank you. Georgia, Louisiana, and Kentucky also said we're going to push it back. A lot of people believe that the DNC and Tom Perez are insisting that the primaries continue to go forward, because they want Biden to win. They think he has all the momentum, and they're just gonna, force him down everybody's throat. There's also a lot of reports of polling places closed unexpectedly today because of the coronavirus. As I read earlier, again, there were election judges, officials who were called off of their polling places, and polling places were closed. Of course, most of the polling places that are closed, or many, are all in, low-income areas. They're all, in universities. They all service minorities. That's generally where that happens. People who are wealthy, people who are, elderly and white. Most of their polling places are A-okay. And this is how it goes. And I have a question, though. So Florida has already been called for Joe Biden. Same with Illinois. I have a real question about they have 89% reporting in Florida. So listen, it's 6 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock at night in Florida. The polls just closed. And they have 89% reporting. It's 9 o'clock at night in Florida. How is that possible? How is it possible that you have 90% of the vote counted? And here, it's not a low number of votes. So look, I looked up how many people voted in the Democratic Party in 2016 primary. Excuse me. It looks like it was about a million and about 1,600,000, roughly. A little over 1,600,000, a little over that. They have the vote count at around it's around the same number. It's around the same number. So 1,600,000 people came out to vote today in the middle of a gigantic health scare. Do you guys believe that? Because I find that hard to believe. And I find it hard to believe that they counted all those votes. It's 9:00 at night. And we got the same number of votes in the Florida primary that we did in 2016, when there was no coronavirus entire shutdown of the entire nation. I'm having a hard time believing these totals. Hillary Clinton also won by the same number, roughly the same number of votes in 2016. Joe Biden has over a million votes, just over a million votes, 1,030,000 votes. Hillary Clinton had 1,097,000 votes. Does that strike you as strange to you? Anybody? I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. Michael Oran says it's rigged. Simple. Witty Moniker says it's all fake. Does voting even matter anymore? No Representation says, I told you Bernie gets wiped out in Florida. Well, I mean, that was the general consensus that he was going to get wiped out. And that's fine. I mean, he got wiped out in Florida last time. So it was about the same, he got more votes last time in Florida because there weren't as many people running. So apparently, all the other people were still on the Florida ticket. Michael Bloomberg got 9% of the vote. Pete Buttigieg got 2.5% of the vote. Elizabeth Warren got 2% of the vote. Amy Klobuchar got 1% of the vote. So had all these other people not been in here, I don't know where all these votes would have gone. Michael Bennet got some votes. So all these people got votes. Marianne Williamson got votes. John Delaney got votes. How did all these people, all these people got votes as well. So I'm a little confused by that. Did they have mail-in balloting? Did they have early voting? Maybe they did. I don't know. But all these people dropped out. A lot of those people dropped out a long time ago. So how are they still getting votes? I don't know. I have questions. That it's 9:00 at night. They have 90% of the vote counted, and Joe Biden has the same number of votes that Hillary Clinton did. We'll just, round those up. We'll just round them votes up. And then, the Illinois television station that aired yesterday that Joe Biden had won the Illinois primary. That's not weird at all either. So is Joe Biden really winning? I have serious doubts. Especially with how terribly he was doing in the first 3 primaries. He wasn't just, doing a bad second place. I mean, he was getting wiped out. He was 4th or 5th, and he came in 2nd by a huge margin in Nevada. He was getting wiped out. How do you go from getting completely wiped out in the first 3 primaries and suddenly you're the guy? I don't know. I have questions. So, he's the presumptive leader right now of the Democratic primaries, but I have huge questions about this. Michael Oran says it's all staged. TCR Galaxy, he's cruising to the win, unfucking real. Kuro Hike says it was rigged from the start. Bernie can't fight. You can just eat his lunch right in his face and he'll say you're a good guy and that you could beat Trump. Well, yeah, that's, the other problem is that Bernie's actually a lot nicer this time around with Joe Biden than he was with Hillary Clinton. he was a little more combative with Hillary Clinton. And a lot of people have speculated that he's being nice this time around because he doesn't want to be seen as the guy who, screwed up the Democratic Party's chances of beating Trump. But it's not his fault. 2016 was not Bernie's fault, but a lot of people believe, and I can feel it on Facebook whenever I talk about Bernie or Biden. There's a whole crew of people who absolutely believe it's all Bernie's fault that Hillary lost, or it's Bernie followers. It's their fault. Like, there are people that are literally extremely resentful of me because I was super anti-Hillary and I was super pro-Bernie. They were extremely resentful of me, right after Trump won, and they're still resentful. They still have this deep-seated, loathing or ire for Bernie and his supporters. And I think that's carried over from 2016. I think that's colored Bernie's chances at winning this time, for one thing. And it didn't really, all these people were mad at Bernie. I don't think it really helped him to be nice. He probably should have come out just swinging. He should have come out from the beginning just swinging and, screw being nice and just take the mantle, take the crown and let everybody come to you. But it's not, it's too late for that. No representation says, come on, Kevin, you think Bernie is getting Bloomberg votes? No, Biden wins by more if they aren't. Well, I'm not, yeah, you're right. They probably go to Joe Biden. Or, there's probably a little bit of both. They get split somewhere in there. I'm just saying that there's a lot of votes that are going to other people that aren't even in the race anymore. It's been 3 weeks since everybody dropped out, except for Elizabeth Warren. No representation says Bernie didn't like Hillary. Hey, Bernie didn't like Hillary. He likes Biden. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but he should have given that that congeniality. He should have given that. He should have given that up. But here's another thing though, is that the Democrat establishment, or the regular run of the mill, middle of the road Democrats, they can blame Bernie and his supporters all they want. They're not going away, right? Like Bernie kind of blew the cover on the establishment Dems. He blew the cover on them in 2016. He told the truth about what's really going on. And for people that understand that the things he's saying about the Democratic establishment are very true. The system is rigged, and it's rigged against you. Those people aren't ever going to come back and be regular Democrats. They're lost forever. So the Democrats have lost this whole group of people, and the only way what they don't understand is the only way to keep them voting Democratic is not to shame them or blame them, but to give them something, to give them some of their platform, or the policies that Bernie Sanders has fought for. Like if they supported Medicare for all, they made sure that whoever is the nominee, Biden or Hillary or whoever, was like, look, I'm going to give you guys Medicare for all, or I'm going to give you guys free college, or I'm going to give you guys, taxes on the wealthy. Like if they're not going to give them anything to vote for. So those people are not going to come out, and it's not their fault. It's over. The Democratic Party as a competitive bloc is over, unless they incorporate progressives. And the more that time goes on, the more that they alienate progressives, the more that they are clearly against having progressives take over their party, have any say in the party, have any power in the party. They're clearly against it. So that's it. Democratic Party over. You guys aren't going to ever have it's officially split. And unless the progressives can find a way to actually take over the Democratic Party the way that the Tea Party took over the Republican Party, or actually pushed the Republican Party to, do the things that they wanted them to do, unless that happens, the Democratic Party has lost all its teeth and all its validity and all of its moral, whatever moral compass or standing that it claims to represent. So, it's an absolute hollow shell of a party. And so what? So Biden's going to win? Ain't nobody coming out to vote for Biden. Nobody cares. People are more adamant this time than they were in 2016. There were a lot of people that were Bernie or bust in 2016, but there are also a lot of people that were like, okay, I'll go vote for Hillary because I don't like Trump. No, this time people are like, I don't care. I don't care. This is what you guys get, right? You run Biden down our throats. You make sure that Biden is a winner. Well, guess what? We're going to sit this one out, and you guys are going to just have to eat it. And you guys can scream and cry and say how Bernie's people are so mean, and Bernie Sanders is a jerk. Nope, sorry. Too bad. You blew it. The Pink Barrio says not all Jill Stein. Well, I voted for Jill Stein, actually, but it didn't matter because I live in California, so. Trump wasn't going to win in California. That was my protest vote. And I would have even given, consideration to voting for Hillary if I lived in a swing state. I don't know right now. If I lived in a swing state, would I vote for Biden? I'm actually kind of on the side of the fence that's like, hey, eat it this time. You guys blew it. Biden's not going to be nominally better for the environment than Trump is. He's just going to, make overtures for the environment. Is he going to do anything on any level that's, dramatic, as Bernie Sanders put it? No, he will not. The unfortunate truth is that whether I vote for Biden or not, he's still going to lose. And so pushing Biden as the nominee ensures that Trump will win and ensures that the environment is further destroyed by one Donald J. Trump. Yeah, so it's not, the whole thing is weird and the whole thing is just really depressing. And I don't know where this is going because we're obviously in the middle of something strange, or other primaries that have been postponed. I would venture to guess that next week's primaries might actually be postponed. Let me see. What's next week? April 4th, Alaska, Hawaii, Wyoming. Are they actually going to step up and say like, okay, no, we're not doing it? That's actually not next week. It's 2 weeks from now. So there's not another primary for 2 weeks. I don't know. We might see more of it. Alex Hernandez says he should have attacked Biden hard in the first place. Indeed, he should have. And he had the chance. And he had the momentum at one point, and he could have absolutely wiped out Joe Biden. But, it's hard to go against the establishment, but he didn't do enough. Unfortunately, he didn't do enough. And I think he succumbed to the lefty kind of like, I'm going to be the nice guy kind of thing. Jeremy Corbyn kind of did the same in the UK election, where he didn't fight back hard enough. He didn't fight back against the smears as hard as he could have. Alex Hernandez says he's going to lose in the general election and he can't win a debate and will stumble against Trump if they nominate him. I believe that true. To Bernie's credit, he had everything stacked against him. both times he did an amazing job of, being kind of the front runner at various times in the election. He was the front runner right into the primaries. He was for all intents and purposes, he was the front runner, and the establishment absolutely lost their shit. And they did everything they could to stop him, and, including, possibly rigging or suppressing the vote in order to get him where he needed to be. But I don't know. I don't know what it all means now. I mean, everything is so all over the place. I don't even know. I don't really know what to think about it. The Pink Barrio says something's not right. And yeah, something is definitely fishy in Denmark, as the saying goes. Deborah Saylor says, actually, it seems unbelievable that Joe is perceived as a strong candidate. He doesn't even have a platform. No, he does not. He doesn't stand for anything other than, we just need a steady hand. How steady is Joe Biden's hand or brain? We just need to go back to when, the good old days of Barack Obama, when, Native Americans were being hosed and gassed in North Dakota. We need to go back to the good old time when people were being foreclosed on. When black homeowners were being foreclosed on, when, black people were being gunned down in the street by, rampaging law enforcement. Remember those days when it was great under Obama? Remember when we, got into 5 more wars after he said we were going to get out of Iraq? Remember when we overthrew Libya? The good old days. The dude says, Jody Connolly. Well, hold on. Jody Connolly, this is a really interesting point you made up. I don't think it's going to happen because the establishment absolutely hates Bernie. They absolutely hate him, and they don't want him anywhere near the levers of power. But I thought that would be a wicked kind of ticket if Biden actually picked Bernie to be the VP. That would be, saying that they're making a concession to the Bernie followers, and that would actually be smart. That would actually be smart if he picked Bernie to be the VP, because then Bernie's people would go, all right, okay. So does that mean you're going to push for the things that we want? It would be an acceptance, that Bernie's platform is relevant and necessary, and that people really want it. And it might be a signal that Biden might actually push for those things if Bernie was the VP. But I'm telling you right now, that would never, ever, 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 ever happen. That's not going to happen. Alex Hernandez, indeed, they wanted to corrupt democracy in their favor. Yeah, I mean, no, it's not a bad I have the same thought myself. No representation. That means Biden thinks Bernie is a woman. Ha ha ha. That's funny. I mean, whatever. The pandering continues. People actually, this is what pisses me off the most about Biden, is that Biden is literally the abusive spouse that just says, I love you, after they totally abuse you or mindfuck you. And the abused spouse is like, okay, I guess you mean it. He means it this time. It's literally what Biden is, whereas Bernie doesn't do the pandering shit. He doesn't do the pandering shit, and everybody's upset at him, right? Like, people are like, well, he's not for reparations. Yeah, but he's for giving people, everything that every other candidate refuses to give them, right? He wants to give the working class and the working poor and the destitute and the people that don't have what everyone else has or what the rich have or the well-to-do have. He wants to give those people a fighting chance. And that includes, working mothers, people of color. That includes, people across the spectrum, right? So he's willing to give people all of that, but not necessarily pander to the reparation thing. And all of the people that are like reparations, of course, are all the people that, woke signal, are like, oh, well, they said I care about you. So that means more to me, them saying they care. And then, getting into office and doing what every single politician does when they get into office and go, and do something very minimal in that direction, right? Like maybe not at all. That means more to people. Like saying something that you don't mean means more to people than actually meaning what you say and being authentic. Like, and the fact that people can't pick up on the fact that, Bernie is being authentic and Bernie is a person of his word and Bernie has been fighting for the same things for the last 40 years. Like that doesn't mean anything to people. Joe Biden's record doesn't mean anything to people. The fact that he's just like, well, I'm going to go to black churches and lie my ass off. And they're like, that's fine. That's great. We're proud. We're for you now, Joe, because you came out and performed some shit for us. You told us a nice, pretty lie, so that means more to us than somebody just like saying like, no, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to just, fight for you. And I'm going to fight for everybody, like you and everybody in your, in your strata of income or, it just, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, the dude says Biden cannot pick Bernie as VP. Right. As if Tulsi doesn't exist. And this is why, they absolutely don't. They absolutely don't want Bernie, but Tulsi, Tulsi is unpopular enough for them to absolutely bury, right? They just buried Tulsi. They were like, get her off the debate stage. Don't ever let her come back on. Shut her up, please. Everybody in the media, please shut her up. Smear her mercilessly. Just make her look like an insane person. And they really were very effective at that because everybody I've ever talked to about Tulsi outside of YouTube, it keeps repeating the same. She's backed by Russians. She is anti-Muslim and she's a friend of Modi's and she's taken donations from people who are, the most insanely stupid shit. Like people are dopes, They just suck this up and they're like, oh yeah, I heard it on CNN, so it must be true. Anyways, Echoes of Not, how you doing? Anyways, corporate Joe Biden is not going to help anybody. And he's not getting anybody reparations. I'm going to tell you that much right now. Never going to happen. Not Joe Biden. Nah. So he's just going to pander and woke signal. And everybody's going to go, that was great. The same way that Elizabeth Warren pandered and woke signal. That's just great. She's wonderful. Michael Aaron says Tulsi got Hillary, just no bullets. Indeed. He should have. Alex Hernandez. I've been saying, I said that maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, that Bernie should have picked his VP early. And Tulsi would have been a good pick. Nina Turner would have been an excellent pick. He should have picked his VP. He should have, Crystal Ball from Rising was saying that he should pick Elizabeth Warren, which I totally disagree with. But as a kind of dramatic move, again, to use that word, he should have picked a VP like Tulsi or Nina Turner, and it would have been a dramatic move, and people would have went like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. Go ahead, Bernie, right? They would have totally done that. And then that would have left Joe Biden flat-footed. Joe Biden would have been like, well, I didn't pick my VP yet. Oh, I got to go pick a VP, right? It would have just left him behind. And he still has time. Bernie still has time to do that because Joe Biden's just said, I will pick a woman VP. But so if Bernie just goes ahead and names a VP, it might actually make people go, oh, okay, that's different. Peter Parkin says, Hong Kong offering 1,800 pounds to stay at home for a month. Wow. Good on Hong Kong. Well, there's been, let's talk about that. UBI, today has been a day filled with people proposing UBIs, Republican and Democrat. So very interesting. Joe Connolly proposed $4,000 a month UBI, and it was questionable whether that meant not a month, $4,000 period. So he proposed $4,000 UBI, but everybody was like, is that a month? Or is that just a flat payment? Bernie Sanders today just proposed $2,000 a month UBI. Go Bernie Sanders. He also proposed exactly what I said 2 days ago. He proposed an emergency Medicare for all. So basically extending Medicare to everyone right now for the moment. And it would be a temporary extension. So brilliant. He should have done this like 3 days ago, but good move by Bernie. There's been a few Democrats proposing $1,000 a month, 2 Republicans proposing $1,000 a month. So it's on the table. It's definitely on the table. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that gets passed soon. The dude says Bernie should have acted like he already won a month ago, including tapping a VP. Agree. Caleb, okay. Ouch. Yeah, let's move on to the apocalypse. So, oil plunges today, and we talked a little bit about this earlier. Oil plunges as Saudis boost exports to record high. After having instructed Aramco to boost production to unseen levels, Saudi Arabia now plans to boost oil exports in May to a record 10 million barrels a day, causing oil prices to fall once again. In order to achieve this level of exports, the kingdom is trying to reduce its domestic consumption, which it expects to replace with the natural gas from the Fadhili gas plant. Saudi Arabia's energy ministry issued a statement on Tuesday claiming that Saudi Arabia will utilize the gas produced from the Fadhili gas plant to compensate for around 250,000 barrels a day. So they're going full bore on this oil price war. So yeah, gas prices are down across the board. WTI crude is down below $27 a barrel. Mars is down to 25. OPEC down to 30. Urals down to 30. Brent crude down to 30. It's an absolute disaster. And then this is slightly good news. I'm going to end on this, guys, so I got to sign off. The Treasury and the IRS are delaying tax payment deadline by 90 days. So, this is good news. So you have 3 months to, I don't know if that means 3 months to file, but 3 months to file and pay your taxes. So, a little bit of a reprieve there. That's good news. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate you all joining in. And I will be back tomorrow morning with another live stream. Let me see. Cyrus Sadrezer says proxy war to wipe out U.S. fracking. Deacon says they can't maintain it. No, not at all. No representation. You got your taxes done already. You're a better man than I. Trump would sign a UBI, so let's hope that actually happens. It's absolutely on the table. I mean, there's so many people calling for it today. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this week they figured it out. You know, cross fingers, hope and pray. Yeah, that one did make me laugh. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow morning. And thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. And peace out.